This is a homemade bait tank system with a bucket filter that I made for less than $200. There are three main components that are needed to make this work. A 100-gallon livestock tank, a 560 gallons per hour pond pump, and a canister filter which I made from a bucket, also called a bucket filter. Here's a quick overview of how this works. In the water tank, a submersible pond pump pumps the water through a hose into the bottom of the bucket. The water rises through a series of filter media and exits through a discharge pipe, returning the filtered water to the tank. In order to best explain the water flow, here's a clip of the bucket filter without the filter media inside. To make the bucket filter, you will need the following materials. Begin by assembling the inlet pipe. This is the pipe that brings the water to the bottom of the bucket. Gather the 3/4 inch pieces of PVC pipe, the two elbows, and the T-piece. Using PVC cement, glue together in this manner. The positioning of the elbows is important. Their openings need to be in opposite directions from each other. Also, make sure the inlet pipe is straight up and down. When positioned in the bucket, the direction of the elbows will create a swirling motion of the incoming water. In order to not impede this flow by the above filter media, cut the bottom out of a plastic basket or a colander. This will be used to keep the open cavity of turbulence. Now, drill a series of holes in the bottom to create better passage of flow. Using a hole saw, which size was measured against the 3/4 inch PVC, cut a hole in the center of the basket. This hole will later receive the inlet pipe. Then, make more random holes throughout the basket using the saw and the 5/8 drill bit. Using marine adhesive, glue the basket onto the inlet pipe in this manner. Let the glue cure before placing in the bucket. The lid can now be prepared to receive the inlet pipe. To do this, saw a hole in the center using the 1 1/8 inch hole saw. Now take the 3/4 inch insert male adapter and the 3/4 inch female adapter and prep the threads with Teflon tape. Thread together by hand and then finish off using channel lock pliers. This can now be glued to the end of the inlet pipe using PVC cement. Now check all pieces for fit, then remove and set aside. Next, take the 1 1/2 inch elbow and position it in this manner. The opening should be well below the rim of the bucket. This will be how high the water gets before discharging. Compare this position to the outside where the hole will be drilled. In this case, the center of the hole was about 5 inches down from the rim of the bucket. Drill the hole using a 1 3/4 inch hole saw. Next, take the 1 1/2 inch male adapter and thread it into the hole from the inside. Then back it out and run a bead of marine adhesive around the perimeter. Now thread back into place, seating the adapter flush against the wall. The 1.5-inch female adapter can now be installed on the outside. Again, run a bead of marine adhesive around the outer perimeter and thread into place. Hand tighten and then finish off using channel locks or pipe wrenches. Set aside and allow the adhesive to cure overnight. Next, return the inlet pipe to the bucket. The inner discharge elbow can now be assembled by installing the shorter piece of the 1.5-inch PVC pipe and gluing it into place using PVC cement. Now plug the discharge elbow into place to check for fit. Do not glue the other end into the adapter. It's best to be left dry for easy detachment. The bucket is now ready for the filter media. One of my favorite filter materials is washable home air filters. Simply trace and cut to size. Cut a hole in the center of each one, just large enough to receive the 3/4 inch inlet pipe. Next, prepare a finer filter using scouring pads. Start by cutting a center hole in one and gluing the rest around until there's a pad large enough to custom cut. Be sure to use marine adhesive and to let it cure before cutting. I like to use the air filter as a pattern. Once the glue is cured and multiple filters have been made, the bucket can be filled with this media. Layer the most porous media on the bottom and work to a finer porous. Start by putting a layer of scrubbies in the bottom. Spread them out evenly and pack them into place. Then cap this with an air filter piece. Next, pour in a layer of lava rock and cap off using the air filter. Finish the top layers with the scouring pad filters. You may need to custom cut to fit around the discharge elbow. And finally, cap off the top using any filter piece that creates a snug fit. The lid can now be put on the bucket. Make sure to remove the strip around the perimeter so the lid can be easily removed once in place. Next, assemble the outer discharge elbow by gluing in the small piece of 1.5-inch PVC pipe. Make sure this elbow is straight up and down. Now, take the braided 3/4 inch tubing and slide on one of the stainless steel hose clamps. Work the end of the tubing onto the insert male adapter at the top of the inlet pipe and secure into place using the stainless steel hose clamp. The bucket filter is now ready for the tank. The bucket will need to sit on a platform above the water. Due to availability, treated 2x8s were used to make this platform. Begin by positioning the lumber on the end of the tank. Then trace around the perimeter of the tank, marking the boards to cut. Once the cuts have been made, glue and clamp the pieces together until the glue has cured. Next, using self-tapping screws, fasten the platform to the rim of the tank. If desired, use the leftover scraps to make an encasement for the bucket to sit in. Secure the encasement to the platform using deck screws and position the bucket filter into place. Next, assemble the pump per manufacturer's instructions. This assembly is adequate. However, I like to wrap all threads with Teflon tape for a snug fit. Next, thread the 1/2-inch insert female adapter on the water outlet of the pond pump. This model has a control valve that will be installed on the pump and serve as the water outlet. Hand tighten the adapter and then assemble onto the pump. Now, slide on the stainless steel hose clamp on the free end of the braided hose and plug onto the insert adapter. Secure into place by tightening the hose clamp. Fill the tank with water and submerge the pond pump. Plug in the pump to turn it on and allow some time to fill the bucket until you see the discharged water. Finally, insert a desired length of discharge pipe to the discharge elbow. This should not be glued in. It's nice to have an optional length and a fountain head to trade out if so desired. Additional aerators can also be added to increase the dissolved oxygen. The tank is now ready to condition and cycle for use.